That's the man running it.
This is a private wedding.
Why are police on our lawn?
Because he refused the rules.
What rules?
Keep filming.
Everyone stay calm. Here is the signed permit.
I didn't ask for paperwork. Then why are you here? He's running an illegal event.
Read the permit number.
You don't give orders here. I'm asking you to verify it. He's been confrontational all day.
Hands where I can see them.
The permit is in your hand.
The lot number matches the marker.
Don't let him argue. He is not resisting.
Step back. Hands together.
They are. You're hurting him.
He blocked the officer.
He did no such thing.
The permit is valid. Stop interfering.
Verify before transport.
You're done talking.
He never belonged at this event.
I am the groom.
Keep walking.
His identification has a city seal.
Anyone can print a card.
Read the second line.
Move. Make the call.
I need to verify this.
Where are you taking him?
Central intake.
The dance. She ignored the permit. Keep recording. This is what happens when rules are ignored. The city seal is real.
Close the screen. Read the title.
Office of the Chief. That cannot be right.
Do not transmit. Make the call. Dispatch. Confirm command status. Officer, stop!
The front door of Marcus Reed's mountain house stood open, though he had never given anyone a key. Inside, strangers drank coffee beneath his late wife's photograph, while the HOA president smiled and called the property community collateral. How could a board seize a paid-off home with one unsigned notice? Why were 6 other owners missing from the records? And why did every invoice lead back to the same locked office? Marcus could have shouted. Instead, he set a worn leather folder on the table and asked one quiet question that made the room go still. What they thought was a simple foreclosure was about to expose something far larger. So stay until the final document is read. Marcus tapped the invoice with one finger. This contractor number belonged to Ridgeline Restoration. Pamela Voss kept smiling, but the spoon in her cup stopped against the porcelain. Owen Keller leaned over the table. "You need to leave." "Ridgeline closed 5 years ago," Marcus said. "Why is it billing this association today?" Around them, the mountain house had been dressed for strangers. White rental towels hung where Evelyn's hand-woven cloths used to be. A cinnamon candle burned beside a stack of glossy brochures. Cold air slipped through the open front door and moved the corner of an invoice Pamela had tried to cover with her palm. "You are trespassing," she said. Her voice sharpened only at the last word. This property was lawfully transferred. Marcus lifted his phone and photographed the page. Owen stepped between him and the table. "Delete that." "No." A man near the fireplace lowered his coffee without drinking. 2 women by the windows turned toward the glass. Nobody asked why the former owner still had family photographs on the shelves. Pamela pushed back her chair. Its legs scraped across the pine floor. "Security is on the way. You had months to answer the notices." "Which address did you use?" "The address on file." "Read it." Owen's thumb rubbed the edge of his tie. Pamela glanced at him, then reached for the invoice. Marcus folded it once before she could take it and set it beside his worn leather folder. On the mantel, Evelyn's photograph had been moved behind a ceramic vase. Her face was half hidden by yellow flowers. Marcus crossed the room, lifted the frame, and wiped a ring of dust from the glass with his sleeve. "Put that down," Pamela said. "It's my wife. It belongs to the contents inventory now." The words landed softly. No one moved. Marcus returned the photograph upright. Beside it, a pale rectangle marked the place where Evelyn's carved wooden bird had rested for 12 years. "Where is the bird?" Owen exhaled through his nose. "We don't track decorative items." "You tracked a $6 serving tray." Marcus pointed to a numbered sticker beneath it. "So, try again." A phone rang in the hallway. Pamela answered, listened, then turned away. "Keep the gate closed. Yes, until he leaves." Marcus noticed a folder beneath Owen's elbow stamped Community Asset Recovery. One page showed 6 property numbers, each marked with the same handwritten initials. Before Owen closed it, Marcus caught the last 4 digits of his own parcel. "6 houses?" he asked. Owen's face changed before his voice did. You saw nothing. The front windows reflected blue dusk, coffee cups, and a room full of people pretending not to hear. Marcus slid the leather folder under his arm. 9 days ago, I had never heard of asset recovery. Pamela pointed toward the door. And 9 days from now, this will still not be your house. Marcus looked once more at Evelyn's half-hidden photograph, then at the empty patch of dust beside it. 9 days earlier, at 6:45 on an October morning, that same brass key had been lying in his kitchen, warm from his hand, while his daughter said, "Dad, promise me you won't sell the house before Mom's anniversary." "I promise," Marcus said, though the brass key had cut a red crescent into his palm. At 6:45 a.m., rain tapped the kitchen window. Cold coffee sat beside forwarded mail. Nia filled his phone screen, hair in a loose knot, drafting pencils behind one ear. "Not before October 23rd, she said. "We finish the terrace first." "We said a lot of things." "Dad." Marcus turned the key. Its worn teeth caught the light. "Mom marked every stone," Nia said. "She left notes on the backs." He glanced toward the closet where Evelyn's work gloves still rested, one thumb stained with mortar. "I know. Then don't let the house become another thing we packed away." The line held only the hum of her office printer. "I'll go Friday. Say the date." "October 17th. Nia nodded. "Call me when you arrive." Afterward, Marcus sorted the mail into 3 piles: utilities, taxes, advertising. Silver Pine Ridge HOA had sent glossy flyers about a harvest dinner, roof assessments, and a guest program. Nothing was certified or mentioned debt, foreclosure, or transfer. The county portal still listed him as owner. At 8:12, he called the HOA office. "Silver Pine Ridge Community Association. I'm Marcus Reed, Lot 42. I need my account balance." Keys clicked, then stopped. "Mr. Reed, the manager handles legacy accounts." "What is a legacy account?" "I'm not authorized to explain." "Is there a balance?" "I can ask Mr. Keller to call." "When?" "He's in meetings." Marcus wrote the time on a flyer. "Before noon." No one called. By afternoon, he had opened every envelope twice. One notice mentioned higher road fees but showed no amount due. In tiny print at the bottom, asset recovery procedures. He photographed it and sent it to Nia. "What does that mean?" she replied. He typed, "I don't know yet," deleted it, and wrote, "I'm checking." At 7:03 p.m., a blocked number appeared. "Mr. Reed? Owen Keller, Property Management. You missed noon." "I had board business." "I understand you're asking about the mountain property." "My property." A pause. "There may be a status issue." "What kind?" "I'd rather discuss it after you review the file in person." "Send it now." "That won't be possible." Marcus heard paper slide, then a drawer shut. "Was a certified notice sent to me?" "Our records indicate proper service." "To which address?" "I don't have that page in front of me." "You just said you had the file." The paper stopped moving. Owen lowered his voice. "Come Monday. We'll sort it out." "I'll be there Friday." "The office is closed Friday." "Then I'll start with the house." Another voice sounded behind him. "Tell him the access code changed," a woman said. Owen covered the receiver too late. Marcus looked at the brass key beside Evelyn's photograph. "Changed by whom?" The call ended. On Friday morning, he packed tax records, the road fee notice, and Evelyn's photograph into his worn leather folder. Before closing it, he added her mortar-stained glove, then returned it to the closet. 2 hours later, beneath a hard gray sky, Marcus turned into Silver Pine Ridge. His key lay warm in the cup holder. At the end of his driveway stood a white sign he had never seen before: Community Guest Lodge. The brass key scraped across the new metal plate and slipped from Marcus's fingers. It struck the porch with a flat click. Behind the glass, warm lamps glowed over furniture he recognized. His walnut coat rack stood beside the stairs, but unfamiliar jackets hung from it. A paper sign faced the window. Welcome, autumn guests. Marcus picked up the key. Its teeth had left a bright scratch beneath the keypad. A woman opened the door 3 inches, chain fastened. Can I help you? This is my house. We rented it through the association. For how long? 3 weeks. She glanced behind her. They said the previous owner abandoned it. Someone laughed upstairs. Marcus stepped back. Yes. Who gave you the code? Mr. Keller's office. A white-haired man called from next door. Marcus? Gerald Mason, 68, stood gripping his porch rail. His cardigan was buttoned wrong, and his eyes moved toward the road. Come over here, Gerald said. Not in front of them. The door closed. The lock chirped, neat and final. Gerald's porch smelled of cedar and burnt coffee. They changed it Tuesday before last. Who did? 2 maintenance men. Gray truck. No company name. You saw them enter? I saw them carry boxes out. What boxes? Books, kitchen things, pictures. Gerald rubbed his thumbnail along a cracked mug. I should have called. Why didn't you? He nodded toward a camera under his eave. Its red light was dark. They fined me $800 over that. Pamela said another complaint could trigger a lien. A dry leaf dragged across the boards. Where did the boxes go? Office first. Marcus opened his phone. What date? Gerald gave it, then caught his sleeve. There was a wooden bird. One man held it up and laughed because the wing was crooked. Marcus's thumb stopped above the screen. Which man? Taller one. Red cap. The gatehouse radio crackled below. A golf cart turned into the drive, carrying Linda Hart, the board secretary. Mr. Reed, you can't be here without an appointment. Linda was 59, narrow-faced, with silver hair pinned tightly at her temples. She held a blue folder to her chest. I called, Marcus said. The property is under association control. Show me the order. I don't have authority. You signed the minutes. Her gaze flicked toward Gerald. That was a closed session. On what date? Linda shifted the folder. A sheet inside bore Marcus's parcel number. I can't discuss board matters on a driveway. Then discuss the lock. She lowered her voice. You were notified. I wasn't. The record says otherwise. Who received it? A horn sounded from the road. Linda flinched and stepped closer. Go to the county records office, she whispered. Ask for the full transfer packet, not the public summary. Why? Her fingers tightened around the folder. Because the delivery address isn't yours. The cart beeped when she reversed. Don't tell Owen I sent you. Marcus watched her vanish between the pines. Then he looked at the key in his palm, a silver shaving caught against one tooth. Gerald asked, You think they made a mistake? Marcus closed his hand around the key. No, he said. I think they needed one on paper. At 9:18 Monday morning, Marcus stepped beneath the county records office's fluorescent lights. A printer whined behind the counter. Warm toner and dust hung in the air. I need the full transfer packet for Parcel 42, Silver Pine Ridge. The clerk at window 3 looked up. Dana Cho, 39, wore a navy cardigan and kept a yellow pencil through her bun. Public summary or certified file? Certified. Her fingers paused. That one is flagged. By whom? Management request. Release only with identification. Marcus placed his license on the counter. Donna checked it. You're listed as the former owner. I'm listed as the owner on the tax portal. Those systems update separately. Give me 10 minutes. Marcus sat beneath an air vent blowing cold against his neck. A clock clicked above metal cabinets. When Dana returned, the packet was thick. Special assessment, she said. Road stabilization, roofing reserve, emergency drainage. I never received this. There's a certified mail receipt. Marcus turned the page. The address read 114, 8 Hollow Creek Road, Apartment 7B. There is no Apartment 7B. That's a feed store. Dana leaned closer. Do you know the signature? A looping M crossed the receipt. No. Could someone have signed for you? Not at a building where I've never lived. The printer started again. Each page came out warm, its edge curled. Marcus laid the receipt beside his license and photographed both. Dana lowered her voice. There are 6 files with the same delivery format. Same wrong address? Different addresses. Same handwriting. She pulled another page from the packet. This is the notarized lien affidavit. A blue seal sat beneath Owen Keller's signature. One letter in its lower arc was cut by a crooked scratch. Dana opened a second file. The same scratch appeared. That could be a scanner artifact, Marcus said. It could. She opened a third. The scratch was identical. Who submitted these? Silver Pine Ridge, through a courier account. Can you print the submission log? I'm not supposed to release internal metadata. Can you certify what is attached? Dana turned the pencil between her fingers. Wait here. She disappeared through a gray door. A man in a green tie glanced out, spoke to her, then shut it. Dana returned with 3 pages face down. This shows date, time, account code, and document count. Account name? Community Asset Recovery Services. That company appears in the transfer papers? On the payment line. He found it near the bottom. Processing fee, $1,200. When was the lien recorded? August 4th. And the notice? August 7th. So the lien came first. Her pencil stopped. That sequence is unusual. Is it lawful? I'm a records clerk, not your attorney. But you noticed. Dana slid the pages toward him. I noticed the same seal on 4 files this morning. Marcus gathered the packet. The paper was still warm. At the exit, Dana called, Mr. Reed. He turned. She held up the certified mail image. The postal barcode was generated in another county. Which one? Her eyes moved toward the gray door, where Owen Keller used to work. Marcus left the records office with the certified packet beneath his arm and drove back to Silver Pine Ridge. By 11:07, the guest lodge was full. Strangers moved beneath warm lights while a woman arranged brochures on Marcus's dining table. A banner near the fireplace read, Invest in Mountain Living. He stepped inside. Pamela Voss saw him first. You were told not to return. I brought the transfer file. Owen Keller crossed the room. This is a private presentation. In my house. Pamela addressed the guests. Mr. Reed is the former owner. He has had difficulty accepting the legal process. One man lowered his coffee. Marcus placed the packet on the table. The lien was filed 3 days before the notice was mailed. Administrative timing, Owen said. The notice went to a feed store. Pamela laughed softly. He has been making accusations all morning. You owe this association more than $40,000. Show the ledger. Her smile held, but one corner tightened. A worker entered with 2 taped boxes. Marcus recognized Evelyn's handwriting. Winter linens. Set those by the truck, Pamela said. Leave them. The worker stopped. Owen pointed toward the door. You don't direct staff here. Marcus opened the box. Cedar and lavender rose from folded blankets. Beneath them lay Evelyn's framed photograph. Owen took it, set it face down under sales brochures, and pushed the box closed. Personal contents are being inventoried. The edge of Evelyn's photograph remained visible beneath the glossy paper. Nobody spoke. Marcus slid the brochures aside and stood the frame upright. Dust marked the glass where someone's thumb had pressed her cheek. Security has been called. Then they can witness the records. You are disrupting lawful business. A woman by the windows asked, "Were buyers told ownership was disputed?" "There is no dispute," Pamela said. Marcus opened the packet. "Read the delivery address." Owen closed it with his palm. "That document is incomplete." "Then complete it." Pamela raised her voice. "This man abandoned the property, ignored repeated notices, and is attempting to intimidate this board." The heater clicked off. Cold air crept across the floorboards. "Ask her why the same notary seal appears on 6 files," Marcus said. Owen's fingers went to his tie. Pamela pointed at the door. "Out." 2 security guards appeared. Gerald stood behind them on the porch, hat in both hands. "Mr. Reed," one guard said, "we need you to leave." Marcus gathered the packet and lifted Evelyn's photograph, but Pamela blocked him. "That stays with the inventory. It's my wife. It is listed as contents." Gerald's mouth opened, then closed. The man near the kitchen stared into his coffee. Marcus set the photograph on the mantel. "Then keep it where people can see her." He walked past the guards. Outside, wind carried wet pine and exhaust. Behind him, the door shut with the clean chirp of the new lock. Gerald came down the steps. "I'm sorry." Marcus looked across the road. Farther along the ridge, another cabin wore the same fresh keypad. Then another. On each empty porch, an identical white sign moved slightly in the still air. The first sign tilted toward Marcus, then eased back, though the pine branches barely moved. He crossed the road and counted. One cabin stood dark. Another had fresh gravel, but no tire tracks. By the 6th porch, each door carried a silver keypad, and each railing held a white placard. Gerald followed. "Those weren't rentals last winter. Who lived here?" "Mrs. Bell in the blue house, 74, taught piano. The Carters came every summer. The green place belonged to a lineman out west." "Where are they?" Gerald rubbed his hat brim. "Gone." "That isn't an answer." "It's the only one I have." A sign clicked against a post. The air smelled of wet leaves and fresh paint. Marcus photographed each lock, then crouched by the 6th step. A torn label clung beneath the keypad. Community Asset Recovery Services. "Pamela said they missed emergency assessments," Gerald said. "All 6? Anyone who argued got another fee." A white van rounded the bend. "You Marcus Reed?" the driver called. "Yes." Rosa Mendez, 36, stepped out in a gray cleaning jacket, dark curls under a cap. She carried a folder inside a freezer bag. "I cleaned 3 houses here," she said. "Not these." "Then why are you here?" "My company name is on their invoices." She showed him 6 bills for cleaning, linen replacement, mold treatment, and inspections. Each exceeded $4,000. Marcus read the first date. "Where were you?" "At a motel near Asheville. 15 rooms, 2 workers, camera footage." Rosa tapped the signature. "That isn't mine." "Owen approved them," Gerald said. "He approved every page," Marcus replied. "I complained in June," Rosa added. "Next morning, my vendor access stopped working." "Keep the email?" "I kept everything." A golf cart buzzed uphill. Linda Hart sat beside a gate attendant, a red envelope on her lap. Mr. Reed, you were instructed to leave association property. The road belongs to the association. Common areas are restricted to members in good standing. You transferred my membership before notice reached me. The attendant stepped down. His radio hissed. Sir, stay beside your vehicle. Rosa raised the invoices. He's reviewing bills charged to my company. Vendor disputes go through management, Linda said. I tried. Then you received a response. I received a lockout. Gerald moved beside Marcus. You can't ban him from seeing what happened here. Linda looked at him. Your account is under review, too. His fingers stopped on the brim. She opened the red envelope. Formal notice of trespass from facilities, offices, trails, and association roads. Effective immediately. Marcus took the page. The paper was cold and stiff. Who authorized it? The board. When did it meet? This morning. He pointed to the footer. Printed yesterday. The attendant glanced at Linda. Marcus folded the notice into his folder. Rosa, send every invoice and email. Gerald, list every owner you remember. You're not conducting an investigation, Linda said. Marcus looked at 6 empty porches. No, I'm finding out who was erased. He returned to his truck. The signs tapped their posts one after another, and beneath the 6th porch light, a camera turned to follow him. At 1:12 p.m., Marcus stood outside the county courthouse while Tessa Grant balanced a laptop on his truck. The auction closes at 4, she said. For an emergency stay, I need one fact the judge cannot ignore. Marcus handed her Rosa's invoices, Gerald's list, and the trespass notice. Tessa, 42, wore silver-rimmed glasses that slipped whenever she read fast. She scanned the pages. The board met after this notice was printed? That is what the footer says. It helps. It does not prove fraud. His phone vibrated. Owen Keller. Marcus answered on speaker. Stop contacting vendors, Owen said. Why? You no longer have standing. Then why are you calling? The contents will be auctioned at 4. After that, access ends. My wife's belongings are inside. You should have complied. Send the inventory. You'll receive it when the process concludes. The line went dead. Tessa closed her laptop. That call goes in the affidavit. Inside, the courthouse smelled of stone dust and old paper. A red second hand moved above the security desk with a hard tick. Tessa filed at 1:46. By 2:30, they were in a narrow hearing room facing the HOA's attorney, who had brought 3 stamped resolutions. Pamela sat behind him. Owen kept smoothing his tie. Judge Warren read the packet. Mr. Reed disputes service? Yes, Tessa said. The notice went to a non-existent apartment at a commercial address. The attorney rose. The association relied on certified records. The sale was completed, and third-party rights now exist. What third party? Tessa asked. Mountain Community Holdings. Marcus wrote. Same address as Asset Recovery? Tessa asked it aloud. The attorney's jaw tightened. Related offices do not establish misconduct. She placed Rosa's invoices before the judge. Nor do they explain services never performed, Pamela whispered to her lawyer. He shook his head. The judge removed his glasses. I see irregularities. I do not yet see admissible proof that signatures or service records were fabricated. The request for an immediate stay is denied without prejudice. The clock read 3:17. Marcus heard only the radiator knocking behind him. Tessa stood. The auction concerns irreplaceable personal property. I understand. Bring me direct evidence. Outside, Pamela passed close enough for her perfume to cut through the cold corridor. "You could have settled quietly," she said. "You mean surrendered. I mean accepted reality." Owen stopped beside the elevator. 4 o'clock. After that, nothing in the house is your concern." The doors opened with a dull bell. Tessa caught Marcus's sleeve. "We can appeal, but not before the auction." He looked at the red second hand. 3:24. "Then we do not wait for the court." By 3:41, they were driving toward Silver Pine Ridge. Tessa called the sheriff's civil desk. Rosa searched old emails, and Gerald sent photos of cars gathering at the house. At 3:53, Naya called. "Dad, are Mom's things still there?" Marcus watched the mountain road narrow ahead. For 7 more minutes. At 3:54, Owen's message appeared. Final access revoked. Auction proceeding. Then another message arrived from an unknown number. "I have the original delivery log. Come alone." Marcus read the message twice as Tessa's car climbed the last switchback. "Reply," she said. He typed, "Where?" "Old maintenance shed. 410. Alone." The auction had begun when they reached the house. Through the windows, strangers lifted Evelyn's dishes, quilts, and framed prints, while Pamela called lot numbers beside a folding table. Cinnamon wax mixed with damp wool and exhaust. Tessa caught Marcus's elbow. "Do not go inside. They want another trespass charge." A worker carried out a box marked "Winter Linens." "That stays sealed," Marcus said. Owen blocked the porch. "The court denied you. It did not authorize theft. Careful." At 4 exactly, Pamela struck the table with a wooden spoon. "Final lot closed." The crack carried farther than the applause. By 4:18, Marcus had received 3 cartons labeled "Unsold Personal Effects." He opened them beside his truck. A lampshade, 2 coats, Evelyn's recipe cards tied with blue thread. Her photograph was missing. So was the carved bird. A strip of torn inventory tape clung to the cardboard, smelling faintly of pine cleaner. Nia answered on the first ring. "Did you get it?" "No." "The bird?" "No." Her breath shook through the speaker. "Dad, stop." Marcus sat on the tailgate. Cold metal pressed through his jeans. "Stop what?" "Trying to save every piece of her. Mom is not in that house." He stared into the last box. Dust outlined the bird's small body and crooked wing, just as Evelyn had carved it after laughing that perfect things looked bought. "They sold her things in front of me." "Then let them keep the money." "You don't mean that." "I mean, I can't keep hearing your voice get quieter." A truck door slammed uphill. Marcus closed his eyes. "Come home," Nia said. "We can build another terrace." He gave no answer. "Dad?" The pale outline in the dust sharpened as the sun dropped behind the ridge. "I need one night." The line held. Then she whispered, "One." Marcus tucked the recipe cards into his leather folder. Gerald was crossing the road, breathing hard, one hand around a memory card. "I saw your message about the delivery log," Gerald said. "That wasn't you?" "No, but I found this." Tessa joined them. "What is it?" "My old dash camera. It records whenever the battery is connected." Gerald rubbed the card on his sleeve. "My car faced the association office the night they emptied it." "You saw them move files?" "A gray truck made 4 trips." "Can you identify it?" Gerald swallowed. "Same red cap as the man who carried out Evelyn's bird." They loaded the footage on Tessa's laptop inside Marcus's truck. The screen washed their faces blue. At 11:43 p.m., a gray vehicle backed to the office door. Owen appeared first, then Pamela. 2 men carried boxes marked Lions, Owner Service, and Reserve Accounts. At 12:16, the taller man lifted something beneath the security light. Even in the grainy image, Marcus saw the crooked wing. Tessa leaned closer. Pause. On the truck door, beneath dried mud, were faded letters. Ridgeline Restoration. Marcus's phone vibrated. The unknown sender had written again. You were followed. Do not come tonight. The original log proves the signatures were added later. At 7:06 the next morning, Marcus's phone lit with a third message. County Archives. Rear entrance. 8:20. Bring no one. Tessa read it over his shoulder. You are not going alone. They asked me to. They know you were followed. Marcus slid Evelyn's recipe cards into his folder. Wait across the street. At 8:19, Dana Cho opened the loading door and led him to a terminal. The room smelled of wet concrete and toner. You were right about the notary. On screen was the commission record for Harold Pike, the name on Marcus's lien. His authority expired March 31st. Your affidavit is dated August 4th. Renewal? None. She opened 5 more files. Each bore the same blue stamp and crooked scratch. All after March? All after May. Dana lowered the monitor. I reported it. My supervisor called it a scanning defect. The rear door clicked. Linda Hart entered, breathing hard, a canvas tote against her ribs. You sent the messages, Marcus said. The first 2. Not the warning. Then who did? Dana asked. Linda took out an encrypted drive. Her fingers missed the port twice. Marcus slid it home. I backed up the board account before Owen changed the passwords. Folders filled the screen. Tessa called from across the street. A black SUV just passed again. Linda whispered. Pamela's nephew. Then move, Tessa said. Dana opened an email thread titled, Corrected Service Dates. Pamela's message appeared. Move the delivery confirmations behind the filing dates. No gaps. Linda, use the blank signature pages from June. Linda gripped the desk. You signed blank pages? For meeting packets. I thought they were attendance sheets. Another email from Owen followed. 6 owners, same process. Make the records match before transfer. Marcus opened the attachment log. These files were created after the liens. Some after the sales, Linda said. Why keep this? Because one name was mine. She opened a spreadsheet. Her cabin sat in the 7th row, marked Next Cycle. Cold air moved across their hands as Dana copied the files. Footsteps sounded in the hall. Linda watched the green line. He'll know. He already planned to take your house. A key scraped at the outer door. Dana killed the monitor. Tessa's voice came through the phone. The SUV stopped. The copier light blinked. 84%. Back stairwell, Dana whispered. At 100, Marcus pulled both drives, gave one to Dana, and slipped the other beside Evelyn's cards. They left through the basement as someone entered upstairs. By 9:03, Tessa had filed a renewed emergency petition with the expired commission, altered timestamps, and email chain attached. At 9:41, the judge froze all transfers, auctions, and document destruction pending review. Owen called before the order finished printing. You think this proves fraud? It proves enough to stop you. You have no idea what you stepped into. Marcus looked at Linda's name on the 7th row. I know what a pattern looks like. At noon, Silver Pine Ridge announced a mandatory special meeting. The notice named Marcus as the source of false and disruptive allegations. At the bottom, one line appeared in bold. All claims will be addressed in public. At 6:58 p.m., every folding chair in the Silver Pine Ridge clubhouse was filled. Pamela stood beneath the association seal, microphone in hand. Owen sat beside her, smoothing his tie while residents whispered under fluorescent lights. "Tonight," Pamela began, "we will correct a campaign of misinformation." Marcus entered with Tessa and Linda. Conversations thinned. Pamela pointed toward the back wall. "Non-members stand there." Marcus stayed by the aisle. "Read the delivery address. You will speak when recognized. Then recognize the record." Gerald sat in front, his hat between both hands. Rosa stood near the door, holding a folder. Owen leaned toward his microphone. "Mr. Reed has portrayed routine collections as criminal activity. He has no accounting role here and no authority here." Pamela smiled. "He arrived in work clothes, waived photocopies, and decided expertise could be invented overnight." Someone laughed once. Marcus opened his worn leather folder and placed a credential case on the nearest table. "I did not invent it." Pamela glanced down. "What is that?" 20 years of casework. The state seal caught the light. "I served in the Financial Crimes Division, then as an independent forensic auditor for courts and property boards. I trace altered records, hidden ownership, and related company transfers." Owen's hand stopped at his tie. "Former employment gives you no jurisdiction," Pamela said. "No. Evidence does." The side doors opened. Camille Price, 46, entered in a charcoal coat, rain beading on her close-cropped hair. "Camille Price, State Financial Oversight Bureau. This association received notice at 4:32. "We received nothing valid," Pamela said. Camille set a stamped order on the table. "You signed for it." Linda saw the signature and covered her mouth. "All financial records, servers, contractor files, and communications are under preservation order," Camille continued. 7 operating and reserve accounts are temporarily restricted." Owen smoothed his tie again. "Account ending 4182, Camille read. "Restricted." His fingers moved faster. "Account ending 9066. Restricted." Pamela whispered, "Call counsel." "Counsel is copied." Gerald placed his hat on the empty chair beside him, freeing both hands. Pamela recovered. "This is intimidation. Mr. Reed is using former colleagues to settle a private dispute." "Did you ask me to freeze these accounts?" "No." "What did you ask for?" "A lawful review." She faced the residents. "The order rests on expired notary credentials, altered service dates, duplicate vendor invoices, and transfers to related entities, not friendship." Rosa raised her folder. "My signatures were copied." Gerald stood. "My camera shows records leaving after midnight." Then Linda crossed the aisle and sat beside Marcus instead of the board. The projector fan hummed. Pamela stared at the empty secretary's chair. Camille unlocked the document box. "We begin with the contractor ledger." Owen's phone slipped from his hand and struck the table. On the first page, beside 6 seized homes, the same company name appeared again. Ridgeline Restoration. The contractor ledger opened on the screen with a chime. Ridgeline Restoration appeared beside 6 property numbers, each payment routed through a mailbox company. Camille enlarged the page. Who approved these invoices? Owen cleared his throat. The board. Which member? Collectively. Pamela reached for the microphone. These are standard emergency repairs. Rosa stepped forward. Then show the work. A murmur moved through the room. The projector fan pushed warm air across Marcus's face, carrying wet wool and burnt coffee. Camille clicked forward. Road stabilization, $842,000. Roof reserve, $1.1 million. Mold remediation, $376,400. Gerald whispered. There was no road work. No roof crews either, someone called. Marcus unfolded a county map. The invoices list 23 addresses. 9 do not exist. Pamela laughed once. You expect residents to trust a hand-marked map? No. Marcus nodded toward Camille. Trust the tax records. Red lines spread across the screen from seized cabins, reserve accounts, and insurance payments toward 3 companies. All shared 1 registered agent and 1 rented storage address. The chairs stopped creaking. Nora Bell, 37, entered through the side aisle with a notebook against her chest and a rust-colored scarf at her throat. I'm not publishing tonight, she said, but I've spoken with 4 former owners. Each received notice after the transfer date. Pamela's jaw tightened. This meeting is for members. One of them is outside, Nora replied. He drove 6 hours. A gray-haired man near the door raised a folder. They sold my wife's cabin while she was in rehabilitation. No one told him to leave. Camille opened a transaction chart. We identified $4.9 million in direct transfers. With disputed sales and missing reserves, the total is approximately $6.8 million. The number remained on the wall. Marcus watched Pamela's eyes move to the lower corner, where one address appeared 3 times. Storage Unit 14, he said. Camille turned. You recognize it? The truck in Gerald's video went there. Nora's pencil stopped. The truck carrying association files? And my wife's carved bird. Pamela looked at him too quickly. Camille caught it. What is stored there? Old furnishings, Pamela said. Owen answered at the same time. Archived maintenance records. Their words collided. Camille closed the ledger. The facility has been ordered not to release or destroy anything. Investigators are there now. Pamela stood. This board will not tolerate theatrics. Her chair caught the tablecloth. A paper cup tipped, coffee spreading toward the chart. Linda lifted the documents clear. A phone vibrated inside Camille's coat. She answered. Photograph everything before removal. What did they find? Tessa asked. Camille put the call on speaker. A man's voice crackled through. Boxes marked owner service, reserve accounts, and foreclosure files. Household property tagged for resale. Marcus closed his hand around the brass key in his pocket. Anything else? A locked metal cabinet with original certified mail logs. Owen stopped touching his tie. The voice continued, quieter now. And a carved wooden bird sitting on top of it. The speaker crackled, then went quiet. Someone set down a paper cup too hard. Coffee trembled over the rim. Camille faced Pamela. You said the unit held old furnishings. It does. Owen said maintenance records. He misspoke. Tomorrow at 10, this becomes a public hearing. Until then, no board member enters the office, storage unit, or records room. Camille slid over the order. Read the first page. At 9:54 the next morning, the county chamber smelled of floor polish and damp coats. Residents filled every row. A red light glowed on the recording camera. Marcus sat beside Tessa with Evelyn's brass key in his pocket. Harlan Brooks, 58, adjusted his glasses. We proceed by document, not accusation. Camille projected Marcus's certified notice. Your signature? No. Your address? No. Did you receive it? No. 5 more notices appeared. The same looping M crossed each receipt. Rosa leaned into the aisle. That hand is on my invoices. The screen changed to the expired notary commission. Then the lien recorded 3 days before service. Ms. Hart, Camille said, did the board authorize backdating? Linda sat alone at the witness table, silver hair loose at one temple. No. Did you sign blank pages? Yes. For what? Attendance packets. I was told attachments would be added later. What attachments? The ventilation system clicked off. Minutes I had not read. Pamela whispered, "She is confused." Linda turned. "No, I was useful." Camille displayed the email. Move the delivery confirmations behind the filing dates. No gaps. Who wrote that? Pamela? Who replied? Owen. And what did you do? I kept signing. Linda pressed both palms flat. Then I found my cabin on the next cycle list. A pen dropped in the rear row. It struck the floor once. Nobody bent to pick it up. Camille showed photographs from storage unit 14. Boxes marked Owner Service, and foreclosure files filled the screen. Then came dishes, portraits, folded quilts, and numbered tags. The next image showed Evelyn's wooden bird on a locked metal cabinet. The brass key cut against Marcus's palm through his pocket. Tessa whispered, "You don't have to look." Yes. Harlan studied the image. Why was personal property stored with original service logs? Owen's attorney answered. Operational convenience. Yashim Rosa said, they tagged memories like inventory. Camille opened the cabinet log. 6 original delivery sheets. Each signature was added after the postal scans were generated. Pamela stood. Speculation. Dana Cho rose from the second row, yellow pencil still through her bun. No, the timestamps are part of the county submission record. She placed 3 certified pages beside Camille. These files were uploaded after the liens. 2 came after the transfers. Owen's chair scraped backward. Harlan looked at him. Sit down. He obeyed. Camille displayed the final chart. 6 homes, repeated seals, false invoices, 1 storage address, 1 approval chain. Ms. Voss, Harlan said, do you still maintain these were isolated errors? Pamela looked at the bird, then at the residents. For the first time, she had no prepared sentence. The red recording light continued to burn. The red recording light kept burning while Harlan waited. Pamela gripped her chair. Mistakes were made under pressure. By whom? Harlan asked. Her mouth opened, then closed. Owen's attorney leaned close. Do not answer. Camille slid a list across the table. Original service logs, altered attachments, contractor ledgers, and storage records are secured. The court has frozen every disputed transfer. A breath moved through the chamber. Tessa touched Marcus's sleeve. Your house is included. And the others? All 6. The clerk read each parcel number aloud. Gerald bowed his head when the blue cabin was named. Pamela removed her badge. The plastic clip caught twice on her lapel. Ms. Voss, Harlan said, you are suspended from all board authority. This community elected me. This community did not elect altered records. He faced Owen. Your credentials are revoked. These materials are referred for fraud, falsified documents, and unlawful property transfer. Owen stared at the table. I'll cooperate. Pamela turned. You approved every file. You said the notices were valid. You created the contractor accounts. You signed the transfers. Their voices collided until Harlan struck the desk. Enough. Camille opened another folder. Mr. Keller identified an off-site archive and 2 additional accounts. Pamela's face changed. Those were reserves. Then the records will show it, Marcus said. Outside, Marcus walked past the reporters with Tessa, Gerald, Rosa, and Linda. Linda stopped beside a column. Mr. Reed, I signed pages I should have read. Yes. I told myself someone else checked them. A bus hissed at the curb. I'm sorry. Marcus left the silence untouched. Tell the owners, he said. Everyone. By 4:40, Administrator Samuel Kent arrived at Silver Pine Ridge. He unlocked the office while residents gathered outside. "No document leaves without a scan," Samuel said. "No payment moves without 2 signatures." He handed Marcus temporary access to Lot 42. The keypad chirped. Inside, the cinnamon candle had collapsed into gray wax. Sales brochures covered the table. Cold air smelled of pine cleaner and stale coffee. Marcus crossed to the mantel. Evelyn's photograph was gone. "So is the bird," Samuel said. "Both remain evidence." Marcus placed the court order where the frame had stood. Camille called from the hallway. "Owen gave us the archive address." 6 miles away, investigators opened a basement beneath an abandoned property office. One fluorescent tube flickered over boxes marked Owner Service, Transfer Packets, and Settlement Targets. Inside were unsigned deeds, blank notarization sheets, and envelopes addressed to owners who had never missed a payment. Samuel opened the ledger. This was bigger than 6 homes. "How many?" Tessa asked. He turned it around. 31 names filled the first column. Linda found hers on page 3. Gerald found Mrs. Bell's beneath a red checkmark. Marcus read the final line. Beside next month's date, someone had written, "Accelerate before audit." Samuel closed the book. The houses were not the end. Marcus looked at the unopened boxes stretching into the dark. "No," he said. "They were the beginning." By 8:30 the next morning, the clubhouse doors were propped open with boxes of old bylaws. Air lifted the proposals on every chair. Samuel Kent stood beside. Camille, Tessa, and Dr. Iris Cole, 55, a governance specialist with silver braids. "This is not a celebration," Iris said. "It is a repair meeting." Gerald raised his hand. "Who controls the money today?" "Samuel," Camille answered. "Temporarily." "And after him?" "Not one person," Marcus said. Pamela's empty chair remained against the wall. Owen's office key lay sealed in an evidence bag. Samuel opened the first proposal. 2 signatures for every payment. 1 from management, 1 from an elected homeowner. Rosa leaned forward. "And vendors?" "All bids posted publicly," Iris said. "Ownership disclosed. No company hides behind a mailbox." "What about emergency work?" "Photographs before and after," Marcus replied. "Itemized invoices. Independent review." The room smelled of wet coats, burnt coffee, and fresh paper. Pens scratched across the margins. During recess, Tessa placed a settlement offer before Marcus. "They want confidentiality," she said. He read the last clause, folded the pages, and returned them. "No. It is a large offer. It buys silence." Marcus looked through the open doors toward the seized cabins. Mine was never the only one. At noon, the insurer's lawyer joined by video. "We can fund restitution, but governance terms exceed Mr. Reed's case." "Then there is no agreement," Marcus said. Tessa listed the conditions. Annual audits, confirmed service before any lien, 30 days to appeal, external review before a home can be sold. That is unprecedented. So were 31 targeted files, Camille said. By 2:15, the revised document returned. Iris read every rule aloud. Notices would go by certified mail, email, and direct phone confirmation. Failed contact would trigger a welfare check, not an automatic penalty. Every contractor, fee, vote, and reserve balance would enter a public register. A 7-member oversight board would include 4 homeowners and no current vendor. Linda stood near the rear wall. "I want my name off the secretary position." "You may resign," Iris said. "Your testimony remains." "It should." Gerald moved a chair so Linda could sit among the residents. At 4:03, Samuel uncapped a pen. This restores access, freezes disputed debts, creates restitution, and binds future boards. He looked at Marcus. Do you accept? Marcus turned Evelyn's brass key between his fingers. With one change, the lawyer sighed. What now? The archive stays open to every owner. No locked cabinet. No appointment during office hours. Iris wrote the sentence by hand. One by one, the pages were signed. No one applauded. Rosa carried copies down each row. Gerald held the doors as neighbors entered. Linda pinned the first contractor list to the wall and smoothed its corners with both palms. The old association seal had been removed, leaving a pale circle in the wood. Iris fixed the new meeting schedule beneath it. First independent audit starts Monday. Then Samuel approached Marcus with an evidence release form. They cleared one personal item, he said. The wooden bird comes home tomorrow. At 10:04 the next morning, Samuel Kent met Marcus outside Lot 42 with a sealed evidence bag. Inside lay Evelyn's wooden bird. One wing was still crooked. Inventory tape crossed its base, and a black number had been written beneath her initials. Released to the owner, Samuel said. Marcus signed, peeled away the tape, and rubbed the sticky mark with his thumb. The electronic lock was gone. Evelyn's brass key resisted once, then turned. The house smelled of dust and cold stone. Nia waited behind him with plans. You kept the key, she said. He kept the door, Marcus answered. They spent the afternoon finishing the terrace. Nia read Evelyn's notes from the backs of the stones, while Marcus set each piece into mortar. Gerald brought coffee. Rosa arrived with 2 workers and cleaned the rooms without sending an invoice. At sunset, Linda returned Evelyn's photograph to the mantel. I should have done more sooner. Marcus straightened the frame, then handed her the key to the public records room. 3 weeks later, the court approved restitution for 11 families. 4 families recovered their homes. Others received compensation for lost equity, legal costs, and belongings that could not be returned. Pamela pleaded guilty to falsified records and fraudulent transfers. She received a prison sentence, restitution obligations, and a permanent ban from handling association funds. Owen surrendered his license and cooperated, leading investigators to 2 more accounts and the remaining archive. Linda testified at every hearing, then joined the Records Committee, where attachments had to be read aloud before a vote. Donna's report prompted timestamp checks for electronic liens. Rosa's company was repaid for forged invoices. Gerald repaired his porch camera. Its red light stayed on. By spring, Silver Pine Ridge had a public contractor register, quarterly statements, independent audits, and an oversight board chaired by Iris Cole. No lien could proceed without confirmed delivery through 3 channels, an appeal period, and outside review. Residents gathered in the former HOA office to hear Iris present it. The locked cabinets were gone. Shelves held scanned records, minutes, vendor forms, and a binder labeled Owner Access. Nora Bell took notes on the 31 basement files. Samuel announced that 26 claims had been resolved and 5 remained under review. Afterward, people stayed to compare statements and write corrections in the margins. Linda unlocked the side room for an elderly owner from another state. Rosa pinned the vendor list beneath the pale circle where the old association seal had hung. On October 23rd, neighbors climbed the stone path to Marcus's house carrying soup, bread, folding chairs, and autumn flowers. Naya mounted the wooden bird above the doorway to the new community archive. Beneath it, the first public report rested on an oak stand. The crooked wing cast a small shadow across the page. At home, Marcus placed Evelyn's photograph near the open window while voices drifted in from the terrace she had designed. Nia stood beside him. Would she recognize it? Marcus looked at the finished stones and the neighbors entering without being asked. Yes, he said. He left the brass key in the lock and opened the door wider. The bird's shadow moved with the evening light. Have you ever seen a homeowners association, employer, official, or local board use paperwork and authority to silence someone who was right? Share what happened in the comments, especially if one overlooked document or one brave witness changed the outcome. Send this story to someone who believes dignity matters, even when the person standing alone has no title anyone can see. Quiet restraint does not mean weakness, and accountability should never depend on how loudly someone can fight back. Subscribe for more stories about justice, quiet strength, and the system changes that follow when ordinary people refuse to look away. Your voice, your experience, and your willingness to share may help someone recognize the same pattern before another door is closed.